So basketball savant LeBron James had did a sit down with JJ Redick. With them reflecting on this past season, they revealed some inner nuances that impact some of the top Knicks players. Now keep in mind, LeBron James is sort of an NBA prodigy. It's not just his height and his physical build, it's really the way he thinks the game. LeBron is the type to predict the outcome of the games based on how many number of possessions he has, his own personnel, and how many points he's down by. He can tell you how many mistakes are left. So he is a basketball wonder king, I would say, or a savant. And I gotta say, it's pretty rare to see all this bundled into one package. But right here, the self-proclaimed king speaks on a scenario that he faces with NBA defenses. And out of all the players in the league, Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle are on the very top of that list. You guys check it out, and every once in a while, I'll check in.
All right, I'm going to go over these blitz numbers because we're talking about 2 on the ball. And this is interesting. So this year, top 5 players that have been blitzed and pick and roll. Luka by a lot. By far, almost 200 more blitzes.
Sure. That's to be expected. That's a pick and roll king. But pay attention right here.
And then everybody, the next 4 guys are bunched together. It's Brunson, Anthony Simons, Dame, and Book. Top 5 by ISO, Giannis, Kawhi, Julius Randle, Anthony Davis, and Banchero. Those are the top 5 by ISO guys.
Jalen Brunson making that list for pick and roll scenarios is not surprising. But Julius Randle and ISO, top 5 in players who get blitzed, the Randle haters got to explain that.
It's interesting. I looked up your blitz numbers in the tracking era, and you were first in ISO doubles in 13 and 14, second in 15, 16, and top 10 in 17, 18, and 19, 20. You've never actually been in the top 20 in blitzes against pick and rolls. Why do you think that is?
Because I make all the right reads.
I think it's that simple. You're right.
It's that simple. Teams know they can't blitz me in the pick and roll.
But what's interesting about Luka, I think, he's one of a handful of guys in this era that can make any pass against a double team.
Any.
James is one of them.
Yep.
You are for sure. Luka's one of them.
Yep.
So why are you blitzing him?
I don't understand it. Especially with the shooting they surround me too. It doesn't make sense.
Like I get the Brunson thing has been since Randle's out.
Yeah.
The uptick in blitzes has
for
gone
sure.
way up,
They
right?
don't have that.
I get that.
Yeah, for sure.
I get that.
I get that as well. You know, you have to. He's a one-head monster right now with the Knicks, and they blitzing him and making other guys beat him. I saw Golden State do it a lot last night as well before our game.
And that goes to show you how Brunson has improved on his pull-up game, especially going from year 1 to year 2 on the Knicks. That's part of the headache teams face when going up against him. I mean, you know you got to double team him, but he still gets through it. That game 6 from the 2023 playoffs against the Miami Heat, you could look back at that game and see that it was Brunson's warning shot to the league, that he's on his way. But fuck it. Let's take a look at some of the scenarios LeBron was making reference to in real time.
Right about now, we're going to start to change the pace and change the style.
So starting off with Brunson, without Randle, the Knicks have found clever ways to kind of get through this. Here's a double screen right here. Josh Hart is going to screen Chet. And in that slight hesitation right here, Brunson is going to burst. And he's able to finish these. And as LeBron stated earlier, it's all about the decision-making coming off the pick. As right here, we're going to see Bobby P. He's going to hedge. The defender's trying to get over the screen. So Brunson's going to thread the needle as Hartenstein rolls. This is good chemistry. Hartenstein is able to finish these. And when dealing with the blitz coming off these screens, that decision-making doesn't necessarily start with Brunson all the time. As Josh Hart right here, he felt his defender trying to hedge this screen, so he slips out early. And again, LeBron mentioning his decision-making coming off these blitzes is the reason why he no longer gets double-teamed. As you're going to see right here off the dribble handoff screen, you're going to see Brunson's decision-making. He stays patient. Josh Hart is kind of open right now, but he stays patient with it. Kind of waits it out, and now he threads the needle to Hartenstein. And again, LeBron mentioning his decision-making coming off these picks, whether it be a dribble handoff or a regular pick and roll, is the reason why teams are starting to back off of him, because it's just so sharp that they've adjusted, and that's the reason why he doesn't make top 10 or even top 5 from year to year since the mid 2010s. And what really helps with that is having a person who knows how to operate in the short roll position with Hartenstein. The Knicks next season may have to figure out something for his replacement. Now, as we see here, Jericho Sims is in the short roll position. So Brunson's going to react a lot different knowing that he's not as skilled as Hartenstein. So he rejects the screen right here. And now he goes in to take a much more difficult shot. So right here, you see another prime example. You got Bojan operating out of the short roll, but this is what LeBron was talking about. The decisions you make coming off this pick. You see this blitz right here. But Brunson is going to take a more difficult shot. But again, this is what LeBron was talking about when saying Brunson was just being a pest with the pick and roll, even through the blitz. As you see right here, he's going to create space for himself by going left and keeping Maxey on his hip. So he is able to be creative on his own and still generate shots, even though he missed that right there. Brunson has real high IQ. He knows Oubre is going to get back because you have a three-point shooter right here in Bojan. And with him being on the more empty side, he knows he's going to have to get back. And now he's just going to attack him one-on-one, no Embiid down low. So he's going to take his chances. But he's been knocking down shots like these, even though this is a tough shot. That's what LeBron had meant when he said Brunson just still operating the way he does with no Randle. He's just been a beast. Now, speaking of Julius Randle, it's his decision making on plays like this. He's going to attack this empty side right here. But how does he react to the blitz? Does he react fast enough? Look at White. He's creeping up in there. So he reacts a little too late on this blitz right here. During the Knicks' 15-game winning streak last year, Randle has shown in isolation that he can make great decisions. And going into next season, he's going to have even more room for improvement while having an off-ball cutter like Mikal Bridges. And he's also a three-point threat. So that's going to improve Julius's odds of making better decisions, leaving it for other teams to actually force another decision, not necessarily showing him a double team as much as he used to. He should be steadily going down that list. That's what LeBron was making reference to. So for Brunson, him being a top 5 player off a pick and roll that gets blitzed, it makes sense. Randle wasn't there and he didn't really have much shooters. But for Randle to be on that list, it goes to show teams are gambling on his decision making. As right here, he's reading on Zubac stunting in, and him just trying to read the defense right now, see what's going on. Paul George is going to strip him. So Randle right there in that exact scenario is going to have to show faster reads, faster decision making, make your move, or pass the ball. And sometimes that requires a lot of patience. As right here, he catches the ball, he has Highsmith on him. Brunson didn't even get to clear out yet. There's still 11 seconds left on the clock. Kyle Lowry's in his way. And he has Kevin Love. So he's not able to take advantage of having Highsmith on him. Here's another prime example. Randle dealing with Kyle Lowry, stunting in a little bit. You got Grimes about to be open as the cutter makes their run right here. But Randle kind of forces the ball in, doesn't wait to play out. Here's another example. 2 men on the post. Good old Jimmy boy. You know he's going to be slick. But eventually he's going to blitz because Randle kind of has his head down a little bit. Grimes is wide open. Jimmy kind of recognizes that, so now he fully blitz. And Randle takes a more difficult shot. Again, Julius Randle has shown flashes last year of just staying patient. Just waiting till things play out. As right here, we're going to see Reggie Jackson. He kind of stunts in a little bit. But as soon as Brunson gets open, OG makes his run to the weak side. He kind of waits till things play out. And he has a one-on-one situation himself. Right here, staying patient, staying in control. Dante opens up. Splash. Now Randle right here, this is why his moves got to be much quicker. It's isolation right now, one-on-one. But watch quick. Very slick by Quickly right here. As soon as Randle's about to make his move, now Quickly blitzes. See, the lane quickly closed. Let's look at that again. Randle take too long to make his move. He had a one-on-one situation on the empty side, and now because he took long, it's quickly gone like that. So right here against Brooklyn, this is a perfect reaction by Randle. Spots the double team right here, and let's see how he reacts. Great pass. Finds Grimes. Right here's another perfect example. I'm telling you, Randle in that month of January with that 15-game winning streak, he stays patient right here. He was in a different zone, and he finds OG open. Normally, Randle, being the bull that he is, he'll just fucking bulldoze everybody and get to the hoop, and it'll be an offensive foul. But this is the maturation right here. Once again, taking a look at that short stint with OG on the team, and before Randle had that shoulder injury, I'm telling you, he was in a different zone. He was more patient. He was letting the game come to him. Notice right here with RJ, and quickly the double team is here, and he stays patient. Now, one thing I would like to add that correlates to this situation was the way Julius Randle reacted to these same type of blitzes coming off of isolation, but in the playoff series against the Atlanta Hawks, which even till this day, he still gets flack for. Now, keep in mind, this very Knicks team have Alfred Payton and Derrick Rose as their point guards. Mitchell Robinson was injured and out for this series, and some of the secondary scorers were guys like Alec Burks, Reggie Bullock, and RJ Barrett. So all these factors will affect the spacing. Not having Mitch will affect the gravitational pull around the restricted area, as the Knicks don't have an offensive threat, so Capella will have more freedom to blitz guys like Randle. And of course, not having any shooters could easily cause this defense to collapse. But again, Randle making the list in 2024 for being one of the most blitz players in isolation. So teams are forcing him to make decisions. They're gambling on that part. And this will be the same situation here with lesser talented players offensively on the floor. Once again, look at Capella. He forces Randle to put the ball down. Once again, there's no threat in the restricted area. There's no Mitch. And there's barely any outside shooters who've been consistent. And again, I'm saying all this because a lot of the hate that Julius Randle gets, especially when it comes to the playoffs, it comes with no context. People forget what was the Knicks' real roster lineup going into those playoffs. The shit was definitely bulimic when it comes to the offensive versatility compared to today. Now again, looking at Randle when dealing with the blitzes, he's on the empty side. Sheesh, they put 3 players on him. I'm not gonna lie, there's no excuse for a turnover, but again, who are the shooters on the other side? But the Hawks are very comfortable at sending multiple people at Randle. Again, looking at Randle's reaction. Off the blitz. Peep Alec Burks' man right here. He's not even gonna follow him to the other side of the court. He's just gonna blitz Randle. That forces Randle just to settle. Knicks once again get Randle on the empty side. Look at Capella, happy as could be. He's fucking practically skipping to the empty side. Randle has no attacking lane to get to the cup. So he just settles. Again, the Hawks clogging up his attacking lanes. Look at Capella. He has nowhere to go. And look at the shooters on the floor. You just got Bullock, really. RJ's 3-point shot is really not there yet. And my God, you know situations are bad when you have Alfred Payton out there. Once again, the Randle Hawks series that people just hold over his head, we really forget that we had to have Alfred Payton on the floor. That's how you know shit is bad. Once again, Randle on the empty side. Capella creeping up. He's stunting. And fuck it, he's just going to fully blitz. Why not? Look at the 3-point shooters available. D Rose is out there on his last leg. And Randle now is forced to the baseline with nowhere to go. Once again, Randle right on the empty side. He has all this space to attack. But look at Capella. Got to clog up his attacking lanes. Nowhere to go. Can't go in there. So Randle's going to settle. Now this one right here. Randle, once again, his attacking lane is clogged up. Capella at the time was kind of a shot blocker. Taj Gibson is not really a aerial threat. Randle leaving off his feet trying to make this pass, that's really going to fall on him, but he doesn't have much options. I'm not going to lie. You see, with the Hawks knowing that the Knicks don't have an aerial threat, it makes it easier for Capella to clog up Randle's attacking lane. See, there's no alley threat. If Mitch was there, this could have been an alley threat right here. But fast forward to the 2024 Knicks team, you can have McHale right here. You're gonna have Brunson. You have much more options, and you have OG in the corner. So Randle's looks are gonna be a lot different, and you really see the difference between that Kemba Walker season to when Brunson came. Randle had a much more efficient season, as right here he has to settle. So right here, RJ Barrett is going to clear out the empty side for Randle to attack it. And you're going to see Capella and others continue to clog up Randle's ability to get to the cup. He has nowhere to go. Once again, Taj, not really a threat. But Randle didn't have to lose his dribble right here. He could have maintained it and possibly make something happen. But this just makes Randle settle for a step back. So right here, we're really seeing Randle with decision making under poor spacing conditions. Just even RJ kind of in this flare screen right here. Herdia does not fully even commit on RJ. He kind of still is stunted in. Look at this spacing right here. Randle still has nowhere to go because no one's really a threat. Look at Herdia. He's still stunted in. RJ is wide open, but he doesn't really have to respect it. And Randle just settles for a tough shot. Again, looking at Randle's decision making with poor spacing, we see the closeout completely clogging up his attacking lane, and nobody's even recovering to the three-point shooters. So that slight hesitation, shot clock now winding down. Randle just settles for a tougher shot. Randle right here needing a bit more patience. Instead of taking that step forward, you know, Capella is gonna be that threat to prevent him from getting to the rim. Should have took more of a step to the side to lead him on to get Taj more open, but he attacks him. But again, we've seen this type of growth from Randle in the 2024 kind of 15 game stretch that we had with OG when he first came to the team. That sort of let the game come to you flow. Randle was more patient. Everything was crisp, his passes, even his shot selections. Nothing was being forced. It just looked a lot smoother.